I want to do this video for all of the people who have taken on the journey of being spiritual activists, healers, speakers, teachers, everything that involves healing the Black community and uplifting them from this spiritual, mental, emotional, physical oppression that we have endured for centuries. You know, and there's this saying that goes, "We're our worst enemies." And so I've coined the phrase Massa mentality, but there's also post-traumatic slave syndrome that sparked that revelation of the Massa mentality. And it's basically just goes deeper than we are our worst enemies. There's this psychological adaptation that happens in the mind based on, all of the years of feeling defeated within our spirit, feeling like we're hitting a brick wall, feeling like we don't belong, this inferiority complex, this imposter syndrome. And in that, we become our worst enemies because it's like there's this idea. I'll just show you, like a pyramid. You see the top? There's this idea that the top is so small and there's not enough space for everyone to have abundance. So there's this concept of crabs in a barrel where it's like you have to pull each other down to get to the top versus making, piling on top of each other and allowing each other to pull each other up. You know what I'm saying? But really, the pyramid is inverted. Inverted just means upside down. So the pyramid is inverted, meaning the top is really spacious enough for everyone to fit. There is an illusion of scarcity. There's an illusion of lack, and that is all part of the program. And you have to ask yourself, you have to start thinking, what are my roadblocks? What is my, how can I say, what is my mindset? What are my beliefs that limit me? What are the narratives that play in my head that make me feel this way towards my brothers, feel this way towards my sisters, feel this way towards my children, feel this way towards my spouse? Is there support out there for Black love? Is there support out there for Black families? Is there support out there for Black excellence? No. When you start becoming successful and you look like me or anybody else, darker, lighter, it doesn't matter. There's always gonna be people who are naysayers and people who try to bring you down. And a lot of times they look like us, but they look like us, but their mind is the mind of the massa, the master. Like, until you become aware of that and detach from those narratives and detach from the way that you are acting as a henchman is kind of like a bodyguard. Until you detach from those ways of protecting the white man's, but now I just look at it as elites, as the to protect the elites level of success and the need to not bridge the gap, the need to not create equity and equality amongst all the intentions of not creating this unity consciousness of loving and noticing that everyone is worthy and no one is better than anyone, for based off the color of their skin. Characters out the window, like people just throwing character out the window, throwing your heart out the window. And this is why Black people carry this heart wall. Our heart is so guarded, so closed, but what we don't realize is with a closed heart, that's not only keeping love out, it's keeping love from coming in. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's only hurting you. So like I said, you have to learn how to detach and learn how to think about and be mindful. And that's where I come about with the ego work for the Black soul. I have a blog about that. I'm still working on, tweaking it and making it even better. I'm always trying to improve, what I put out. But in ego work, you can read Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome, but as well by Dr. Joy DeGruy. But also it's just doing the work and having this level of conscious awareness. Conscious awareness is the ability to step outside of yourself and see the situation from not your past trauma, not the pain and experiences, but just seeing things for what they are, and noticing your mind, noticing the way that your thoughts fuel your emotions. Sometimes your mind and your body communicate back and forth. So sometimes if something has made you feel some type of way, now your mind is going to start fueling your your feelings are going to fuel your mind with thoughts that, may not be necessarily true, and vice versa. If you think something that is destructive or disempowering, it can fuel you with so many feelings of depression, anxiety, sadness, defeat, all these things. So you have to be aware of the thoughts that are running in your mind and learn how to reframe them, which is a concept of, seeing it from a like the brighter side, or not necessarily the worst case scenario, or what ifs, like, which are usually, I always say assuming is the devil. And a lot of times our mind has adapted to this way of thinking of the worst because that has been a survival tactic. And for a lot of us, we have been in survival mode for generations and generations. And survival isn't bad because it has gotten us here thus far, but it's about balancing surviving and thriving and knowing like when something is now holding you down, stuck, versus progressing towards better change. And I just want you guys to understand that, and knowing that if you're taking on the role of being a healer or a teacher or activist, know that however you want to look at it, God, the devil, spirit, the universe, the mind, is always going to test you. Doing this video, I messed up and I had to do it again, but I could have been like, you know what, I'm frustrated, I'm not doing it no more. But no, I had to look past that obstacle and know that obstacles just make me stronger and make me push harder and make me prove to whoever I want to consider I'm proving myself to that you're not going to defeat me. And I'm going to prove my worthiness to you. I'm going to prove that I'm confident. I'm going to prove that I know what I'm doing, and that I'm not going to stop. I am worthy. I am lovable. I am unstoppable. I am limitless. I am successful. You have to constantly tell yourself things until you truly embed it in your core belief system. Your belief system has been boxed and so limited through spiritual, mental, emotional oppression that it has defeated your spirit. You have to now revive it and liberate it and free that spirit that has been so compressed and so distorted. Then I started recording this, and my son started just making a lot of noise. Like I say, spirit and God, or whatever you want to call it, will use people all around you to prove yourself to yourself. You have to know that you are a child of God, that God is within you, and that is nothing short of amazing. You have to see the power in that and know that you have to keep going no matter what. That energy is limitless and powerful and infinite. And that's what the oppressor doesn't want you to know. And that's why I'm here to take on that role as a small piece of the puzzle. Humbling myself, but not to the point where it's like I don't know that God has called me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you have to know how to have a level of humbleness. Like, yeah, I'm humble to a certain extent, but I also know, shoot, I'm that big or whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? You got to know that too, because that's a part of your confidence, and you don't have to dim your light or humble yourself for someone else's insecurities. That's a whole different ball game. But I'm just coming here kind of random. Like I get like this sometimes, but I was just called to talk about that. And I hope that something in what I've said today liberates you and makes you know how beautiful of a soul you are. Love you guys. Peace out.